Alexander the Great was born in Pella, Macedon, in July 356 BC. He was the son of King Philip II of Macedonia and his fourth wife Olympias. Philip had several wives and children, but Alexander was considered the heir to the throne. Alexander was tutored by the renowned philosopher Aristotle, whom his father had hired to teach him. From an early age, Alexander was a determined and courageous leader. He was said to be fearless in battle, and his ambition and determination motivated him to conquer the known world. Alexander was only 20 years old when his father died and he inherited the throne. He quickly established himself as a strong and capable ruler, and set out to fulfill his father's vision of conquering the Persian Empire. In 334 BC, Alexander and his army marched east and began his campaign of conquest. He was victorious in many battles and eventually conquered the Persian Empire. He continued his conquests and extended his empire as far east as India. Alexander died in 323 BC, at the age of 32, leaving behind an impressive legacy. Rise to power. Alexander the Great rose to power as the king of Macedonia in 336 BCE, upon the assassination of his father Philip II. Alexander was just 20 years old at the time, but had already proven himself to be a brave and able leader. Alexander was tutored by the renowned philosopher Aristotle, and he was determined to extend the reach of Macedonia. In the following years, Alexander made a string of successful military campaigns in the Near East and beyond. He overthrew the Persian Empire, and conquered the lands of Syria, Egypt, Babylon, and Mesopotamia. He also extended his rule to parts of India and even parts of Central Asia. Alexander was a brilliant military tactician, and his army was well disciplined and well equipped. He was known for his great victories over the forces of Darius III of Persia, and his campaigns resulted in the creation of one of the largest empires of the ancient world. His legacy lives on today, and he is still remembered as one of history's greatest conquerors. Conquests. Alexander the Great was an ancient Macedonian ruler and one of the most successful military commanders in history. He was born in Pella in 356 BC and succeeded his father Philip II to the throne at the age of 20. He is widely regarded as one of the most successful military strategists of all time and was undefeated in battle. During his reign, Alexander led the Macedonian army in a series of campaigns that extended Macedonian power throughout the Mediterranean and into Central Asia. His conquests changed the course of history and had a profound influence on the development of Western civilization. Alexander's conquests began in 334 BC when he led a Macedonian army across the Hellespont into Asia Minor. He quickly defeated the Persians at the Battle of Granicus, captured the coastal cities of Asia Minor, and marched south into Syria. In 331 BC, Alexander's army defeated the Persians at the Battle of Gaugamela and captured Babylon and Susa. In 330 BC, he captured the ancient cities of Persepolis and Susa and completed the conquest of Persia. In the following years, Alexander continued to expand his empire, conquering territories as far as India. He founded over 70 cities, spread Greek culture and language, and established new trade routes. Legacy. Alexander the Great's legacy is one of the most enduring of any ancient figure. He conquered much of the known world of his time and spread Greek culture throughout his empire. He established the city of Alexandria in Egypt, which became a great center of learning and culture that was later home to the famous Library of Alexandria. He also founded many cities throughout his empire, such as Alexandria in Iraq, and Alexandria in Afghanistan. His conquests and military tactics have been studied and admired by many military leaders in the centuries since. Alexander's legacy is also remembered for his vision of a unified world, which was reflected in the extent of his empire and the way he treated the people he conquered. He showed respect for the customs and beliefs of those he conquered and allowed them to keep their own laws and customs, provided they did not interfere with his own rule. He also showed great respect for the gods of the various cultures, even going so far as to sacrifice to them. Alexander's legacy is also remembered for his patronage of the arts and sciences, and the many great works of art and literature that were produced in his court. Character and personality. Alexander the Great was an ambitious and determined leader, who was driven by his desire to conquer and expand his kingdom. He was a skilled military commander, who was able to lead his army to numerous victories over his enemies. He was also a persuasive orator, who was able to convince people to follow him. He was a determined and loyal leader, who was willing to do anything to protect his people and expand his kingdom. He was also a courageous warrior, who was not afraid to take risks in order to achieve his goals. He was also a visionary leader, who was able to set far-reaching goals and inspire others to achieve them. Death and succession. Alexander the Great died in 323 BC, in the city of Babylon, at the age of 32. The cause of his death is still unknown, though theories range from poisoning to typhoid fever. After his death, Alexander's empire was divided among his generals, known as the Diadochi. Initially, 4 of his generals divided the empire into 4 regions: Ptolemy I Soter, Seleucus I Nicator, Cassander, and Lysimachus. Over time, these 4 regions were further divided until the Diadochi dynasties were established. These dynasties ruled the eastern Mediterranean for centuries and provided the foundations for the later Roman Empire. Dear viewers, we have tried our best to provide you an informative video. Please comment that how did you find this video, because your opinion and comments are very important to us. If you like the video, please like and subscribe our channel so that you may be updated for our every informative video. Take care of your good self.